This day that he told us, it is because of 12th that we are doing this fire and all that. But fire is also symbolically represented. Zoroastrianism sometimes is foo-fooed by saying that these are the worshippers of fire. And even Zoroastrians, you see, they call it Agyari, the fire temple. It's not Agyari. That's what I was asking you the other day. What happens when the word is changed, you see, and has a different meaning? It's not an Agyari. Yeah, corrupted. The word is not properly used. It's not Agyari, it's Ageyari, friendship of the fire.
I see.
And fire is represented by one's love for the Lord. Love is nothing but fire, you see, that consumes you, that helps you to get yourself consumed. So Ageyari, Yari means friendship, and one who befriend the friendship, means one who befriend fire are the Zoroastrians. Fire that Zoroaster had given as a gift in the hearts of humanity.
Yes, sir.
His office at the time, you see. How Meheraza, this place, how, and all the things people are gathering over there, how to bring Meherazas and Meherabad together, you see, on this particular occasion of 31st. His body was taken from here and put there to rest. So athletes who were around this is, how about us lighting the torch in his room where he passed away on 31st? And if we can get the torch from there, running all the distance, you see, it is a pilgrimage. Athletes think differently than an ordinary old pilgrim on the path. They would like to make a pilgrimage to the Lord by running, see, and carrying a torch, you see. So that's how it all was initiated. So we thought, yeah, it's a good idea. We'll light. Pendu, the oldest of the Mandali here, lights the torch that is here in Baba's room, even tottering and all that. So he's lifted up and matchstick is put there. And these athletes, in their fervor, you see, who are lovers of the Lord, they run the distance.
And what do they do with the other
And they go there and put that fire in the duni, on the hill. And
carry the duni?
Not duni. It's the carry the
back.
fire. It's the presence. You see, it's the continuation.
Do they take it up the hill?
Yeah, they take it up the hill in a procession. They dance and sing and this and that, and they make a great day out of it. It's an occasion for them. Yeah, their athletic spirit, you see, makes them feel elated and all that they ran, all that distance and all that sort of thing. And in the love of the Lord, you see, they have done it. Pardon has nothing to do with fire. It's all excuse to these are the reminders to remember Him. Anything is nothing but the reminder to remember Him. One way or the other, all are the excuses. Yeah. So now also they continue, we would like to throw a splinter because Baba had set a guideline. He must have had a meaning behind it on that day when he said that. And sure enough, we follow it. Yeah, we do that. So we pick up a stick from there and throw something in it, you see. That attachment which is most, what do you call it?
Troublesome?
Well, some attachment, my attachment to Baba, I wouldn't want to throw it. It is troubling me a lot.
Hindering. It's like a thorn.
Yeah, some attachment that is like a thorn, you see. But whatever it is, even that also I shouldn't say. Whatever it is, that attachment that pesters you, you may call it. That you don't wish to, you feel that I shouldn't be attached to such things. Attachment to anger, attachment to my taste for particular pickle or that particular, type of fowl or this or that, or particular attachment to particular fragrance or attachment to this or attachment to that which is an hindrance in my love, in my devotion towards my Lord. That which is as a thorn in between me and Him. That attachment, that sort of attachment. You follow? Platform. And Baba says, get me the board, get me the board. Well, he takes the board and he points at the board, you see, and while they are taking the film, that I have given up the use of the board from such a day. So that's how they have recorded it. This is not you're throwing the thing in the sprinter, it helps you.
But because Baba ordered them specially on that one occasion,
it is you who have to trudge along the path, you see. But then these are the crutches that help you.
I've got an inquiry. It's not a question. This is more than a question.
Yeah.
This inquiry has been ripening since I've been here. A few days ago, I had no words for it. It has to do in the area of marriage. And I know that from feedback that comes to the States, there's a lot of concern about the state of Baba marriages. And by that I mean 2 Baba people married. And we say, well, I don't know, perhaps you were asking here in Meherazad, why such difficulties? And being tangled up in a Baba marriage, I can empathize with many.
Okay.
Have a little dialogue, if you wish. Right.
Wait, just a minute. Where is that book we have called? We hadn't finished it.
Fire.
No, but what is the date and all that? Is there anything?
Composed by MeherBabaLibrary, May 22nd, 1947.
This is much before. 1947 this was composed, yeah.
When you feel cold.
Baba is fire. That's how he started saying, you see, I am fire. I am myself the fire. Yeah, now you begin.
Title is Baba is Fire.
Fire, yeah.
When you feel cold and sit near the fire, it drives out your cold and makes you perspire. When you feel hungry and cook on the fire, it gives you your food for which you aspire. But if you, like a fool, try to play with the fire, it may burn you so badly that would make hell admire.
So that's what he said about fire, him being fire. But we are not concerned with him being fire. We also know that he is an iceberg. So don't you all think that he is just fire. He is also butter and he is also steel. He is soft as butter and hard as steel. That's what he said. I am like fire. No doubt, I am that too. But at the same time, I have the patience and compassion of an iceberg. And so forth and so on. So this is one of the things for your dhuni. And one more, if you bear with me. What had happened was that this dhuni concept was led so far. You see, people think about this dhuni that is being lit every month and all that. So naturally the news has spread far and wide, and those who have come, have read, Listen Humanity, or those who follow Baba somewhere in England or Australia or in Timbuktu or wherever it is. So we have got a very humorous episode to describe today, narrated to you. What had happened was that some years ago, a couple came, aged couple, had come over here. Michael Milburn was his name. Is his name. He's still alive, of course. He is from England. He holds a big farm, has a lot of cattle and dairy produce, you see, is his business. And he and his wife had come here for the first time. I think about 5 years ago. Were you here at that time when they came, Christina? Michael?
Hawaii or what?
No, from England.
He first came.
What happened is that wife and they both came for the first time together. So they were seated over here, and then I was happy to see them, and well, they were all really happy and cheerful and all. So I inquired as to what brought you here. How come that you have brought your wife also? And we're very happy, you naturally feel at home and all that. He said, it is not possible for us both to come. Because you know that there was a terrible drought in England. You remember that some years ago? When was that?
76.
Huh? 76, yeah. So even India made a roaring business out of the drought. For the first time, India exported fans manufactured in India to England, you see. Because they never had fans over there. They don't use fans. Yeah. The climate is such that they don't need fans. On the contrary, they need heaters and so forth. But India made a roaring business because of the drought, you see. And exported tens of thousands of fans from here. Table fans and all sorts of little ceiling fans and gadgets and all that. So that was the season, that was the time. And he is reminding me about it. So I said, yeah. So what brought you? Was it the drought that brought you? He says, yeah, I have come here. Oh, I see. What do you do there? He says, no, I have a farm, dairy farm and all that. Yeah, I said, yeah, but how come the drought brought you here? Most probably there's nothing to farm for. You must be taking a holiday. No, we have plenty of things to do there. Then what brought you here? So he tells me this story. He says that at the peak of the drought season, what had happened was, he is seeing, he didn't care for all the green that was there on his farm turning brown. That is in the hands of the Lord. Of course, he accepted that and all that. He knew Meher Baba for many years, and of course, he knew how to, he was aware how one should be resigned to the will of the Lord. But then he couldn't witness this sight, where his cattle, there were scores of cattle there, the cows, without food, without fodder now. You see. How will he manage them? What will he do with, how can he feed these so many stomachs, you see? And they need a lot of fodder. What will it happen and all that? Every day in his desperation, he says, in my farmhouse, I have a terrace up there. And I used to go and look at the sky every evening. And there was no sign of a cloud, no sign of any moisture there and at all. What has happened to England all of a sudden? Everywhere he looked, you see, it was turned brown and drab, it looked dusty and all that. And for England, you see,
it's rare.
Yeah, it's a rare thing. So what will he do? And he didn't know anything. So one day it so happened that, he was playing from somewhere he got incense sticks, You know these sticks that we burn, incense sticks? So he had two of them and he burned them to give little fragrance in the hall, sitting hall. But having lit them, he wanted to go up there without giving a thought. He had that and he wanted to see whether there are any signs appearing of clouds for the next day or anything, something there. So he goes there and again he is disappointed. Nothing is there. And he's so frustrated and disappointed. And his eyesight fell on the burning incense, That gave him a thought. Why not implore Baba? He did give rain there in India, and this reminds him of the Dhuni fire that was lit. He knew all this history and all that. So having seen this, he says, Baba, where are you? You listen to the farmers there. I am a farmer by profession myself. We want rain here. I want rain. Please give me rain. I implore. And saying thus, he was there and he came back. But being an honest lover of the Lord, having faith and belief in Him, next day he gathered his family members, his wife and children, daughters were there and all that, and they started clearing up the gutters, the leaves, dried leaves in preparation for a great downpour, Now he has begged of the Lord, and surely the Lord is bound to. He is the slave of the love of his lovers, and he says that I love him, so he must listen to me. And there was no sign. They are prepared with all this. And what happens is, the next day after that is a Saturday. This happened on Friday when he cleaned the gutters. of all the roofs and everything, and then the gutters that drain the water and all that. So, because for a long time there was no rain or anything, all the dried stuff had gathered and all, everything has been cleaned and kept ready. So, Friday they did that. Saturday, still no sign, bright sun is there, there's no cloud or anything of the sort. And, well, he just again remains resigned to the will of the Lord. And Saturdays, he says, in England, usually, I don't know, those who are from England, they might be knowing that most of the families, they don't spend their time at their homes, but they go to the nearest pubs. You know that? Yeah. So he said, I and my wife and others had gone to a pub, drove in a car. It's about 20 miles from our place where we usually feel at rest and relaxed. All our friends gathered there and all that. So I had gone there to the pub. But last view was that it was bright sunshine, nothing, no hope. After an hour, somebody comes from my area in a car, my friend, neighbor, says, hey, Michael, good news to tell you. Says, what? Knowing that Michael is totally frustrated and is helpless now, and he has faith in his Baba, so maybe he's teasing him. Who knows? Michael took it that way. He says, hey, there's a huge black cloud hovering over your estate. So he thought that he's pulling his leg because he's teasing him, because Baba will only save his estate, you see. So he says, well, it's all in his hands and all that. He was tipsy bit. He's confessing all this. This is all right. Well, whatever he decides, it will be so. And he didn't give any countenance to this. What happened is now that after a couple of hours, there's a ring paging Michael in that pub. So he goes to the phone, and the only daughter who couldn't come that day due to some health reasons, whatever it be, so she phones from the dad, please come soon, our house is flooded. So, come on now, what's the matter? Be serious. So says, I'm serious. The water has come inside the sitting room. The carpets are being just, all the slush is coming inside. Please run. Please come back. So he says, all right. So he takes the car and he goes there and he sees to his surprise that there's a total downpour of rain only in his area. Only in his area. All the farm, that he had a big farm, so all that is being just drenched, you see, and there is water flowing, overflowing, and it has entered the house. And he says that many places they were knee deep inside our house and some ankle deep. Our carpets, the worst thing was that I should have asked Baba for something. We must use logic, he says, at the time when we ask him. I didn't ask him where he should stop at the time, but it was so. And it was pouring, and what's to be done now? How to clear the water out of the whole thing? They all worked there day and night and all that. It took us many days to clear up the slush and all that. And all the carpets and everything was spoiled there. But that rain, that downpour, helped our farm and helped my cattle. And not only helped my farm and my cattle, but provided us both to come to this place. Yeah. So that's the Dhuni, that's the sequel to all this talk about the Dhuni fire and all that, you see. You had not heard the story? No. Yeah, it is. That's what they confessed at the time. Michael Milburn, his farm, his dairy farm. That's how it was. Well, Jeff, she's here. That's the end. Is there anything that you all want to know about it? No. I think we have covered it fairly exhaustive. To the exasperation of many who are here, you see. He says, no, I can't live with you. I have to go. Says, then he asks, are you in love with somebody? He says, yes. Will you be happy with that somebody? That's the only thing that I want, happiness. I know that I will be happy with that party, that person. He just hears that. What a shock it must be to his heart. He is all out to love this woman, but that woman has fallen in love with another man. So now he has heard this information. Now what happens is this, that Baba says, my man is he who goes all out and establishes the happiness of that woman by going forward towards arranging the marriage of his wife to that man. And first gets separation, divorce, and then gets the woman married to that. And he plays the leading role because he loves her. Because of his timeless love for her. That the day that they got into this wedlock, they have, taken an oath through thick and thin. But here she doesn't want to. So this is what he does as a sequel to his oath. He makes her happy by taking a leading role, playing a leading part in it, and gets her happily married to that man, and then bids goodbye and remains a friend. That is the height of a person who upholds what Baba wants him to do or is expected of him to do. Of course, a man gets married to a woman, he leads this life of love and sex, that is true. But he should not forget that sex and love are quite two different things. But they try to mix the whole thing up, you see. And as long as sex is satisfied, well, we are in love. And as long as sex is not satisfied, separation, divorce, and we are good friends. That's what we find.
Only reason to this seems to be they get married before that understanding comes to them.
Maturity,
yes.
You mean? Yeah.
Are you saying that physical sex and sex cannot be considered the physical expression of love?
No. Physical expression of love is just sacrifice and offering. It's sex only. It's nothing. You can't mingle that. Can't. No amount of your trying to brainwash me will help you. What I am saying is that the right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
The thing is that, Dorothy, sex is sex and love is love. The physical expression of love, offering. The more one loves, one feels loving less. Going on all out, thinking all the time of the person, wanting to help the person at any cost, at the cost of one's own happiness. That is love. Love is not sex. Sex is quite different. Sex gets satisfied. Love doesn't get satisfied. How can you equate sex with love? The physical expression, when you have sex life, you see, you get so tired and exasperated with it that you don't want to have it for some days. Again, it's a revival of sex life, you see. And again, you think that I have begun to love my partner. But it's not that. It's the revival of sex, you see. The rejuvenation of sex, that's all. It's not love. Love is a perennial flow. And for that, what he says is right. There is maturity. There is a factor of maturity, you see. You see. In loving, you don't get tired. In sexual life, you get exhausted. In loving, you get rejuvenated. You follow?
And the results can be seen in India. Once I have surveyed in one of the temples I was sitting.
Yeah.
And to your surprise, what I have observed that many couples over the age of 45 years, when they were coming out of the temple, I was just observing them keenly. And I saw that both husband and wife, they looked alike, as if they are sister and brothers. And how that expression came on their faces, that alikeness, because of that love, that mutual understanding which they have grown up together for such a long time.
Impressions take place, you see. You follow? Sanskaras are there, and then there is nothing more further than that, you see.
And
Your life, married life is that.
Long time,
Huh?
If you've lived together for a long time, you've also started constructing so many debts and dues between each other.
Yeah.
You have to, if you don't finish it out in that lifetime, you've got to do it over.
Yeah, that's true. But as it is,
You used the term vested interest several times in
Yeah.
expression. Can you amplify that?
Vested interest means my interest in a woman has lasted for some time. It was there. And why was that interest was in the beginning, I felt it was my love. But really speaking, it was the attraction of a body. My body got attracted to that body. My mind got attracted to the curvatures of her body. And that's vested interest. That's why I got married. Likewise, in my married life with that person, you see, throughout, say after some 6 or 7 years, somehow or other, my mind gets attracted to something else. And because all the time that attraction is there, here I pick up a row with my children, my wife, my families, all the area around, you see. I am an irate person, you see. They say, what's the matter with you? Why? You behave so very well with outsiders there. What happened here? Because as soon as he comes here, that vested interest in somebody else, other than one's own, always comes into the picture. It is a thorn all the time pricking that those who near you were the roses have transformed themselves into thorns. And you have created another garden of roses outside. You see, that's how it is. So that what I mean is, what Baba also referred to was these vested interests, these selfish, what you may call it, experiences that you then build up a whole wedded life, you see, with that other person, and then you think of the person. Even while you are sitting with your wife, although your wife is facing you, I seem to see the face of the other person where the mind is attracted to. That's how it is. That's vested interest. Because of that vested interest, irritations pick on. They sprout. There was an alpiner, a mountain climber. He used to climb the mountains and he was fine. He was an expert in that. He had a friend like me, you see, who befriended this alpiner, and well, because of the friendship, naturally he would always want to go mountaineering. So this friend, who did not know, he learned the art also with his friend, and he developed fondness for mountain climbing. So he used to go with him and he used to be there, but he's an amateur himself yet. But one day on his own, he had the fancy that, well, my friend can go and reach the heights, why can't I go? So he goes on his own, you see. So he goes half the way, he takes all precautions and all, somehow or other he slips, you see. And he slips and there's nothing there, he's just, you may call it, clinging with his nails there. What happened while he's slipping down a sheer cliff? All that is that there was a little stump, you see, that had come out of the rock. So he is holding there and he's trying to have a foothold, but nothing is there. He is so frustrated, he's so, he seems that he is sure death now. So he looks down and starts calling out somebody to help him out. And there's nobody. And then he looks up and says, surely somebody must be somewhere. So he looks up and says, help, help, help. So he looks up and shouts, help. He says, here I am, what is it? He says, I need help. So then he says, sure, but who are you? He's asking this man, welcoming. He says, I am God. He says, yes, I need your help, please help me. He says, yeah, I will help you, but do as I tell you to do. Yes, do, tell me what to do. Let go. Let go. Is there anybody else to help me there? That's how we live. That's how we live. He tells you to let go. You are not going to die. He says, he's assuring you that he's going to help you. Although you are clinging, as you call it, by your nails, let go, fall down. You'll have his cushion of grace. Nothing is going to happen. You have done your best. It's all right. Yeah. So, is there anybody else? Then you so that's how it is. There's nobody, then you fall. Then you die, naturally.
And this thought came to Mani and it rattled around in her head for a while, and she saw it go on. And one day she even came to the point where she turned to Baba and said, it was after some incident, she said, If Mara said the world was square, you'd probably agree with her. Is that right?
Not probably. You'll agree with her. Yeah.
Is it? If she said it was square, you'd agree? And Baba turned to her, looked her in the eye, and said, yeah, I'd agree. World is square.
It is so, because you say so. Yeah.
So what? Mani, point was left. Mani, somewhat nonplussed, went on with the day, and some time passed. Next day, or a few days later, it came to her. And a whole new feeling about all this that she'd been thinking on and feeling about came to her. She had a new way of looking on what she'd been thinking about. It occurred to her that when the Avatar comes in his advent, he not only is the beloved of the world and all come to love him, he attracts the love, but he himself has a beloved. Why? To enjoy the relationship of a lover-beloved relationship? Maybe that's there, but more so to show and establish in the world how a lover should love the beloved. And with his beloved, whatever request is there, whatever the pleasure and whatever the wish is, in his effort always to please his beloved, he sets the pattern and the gauge of how love should be, how the lover should love, must love the beloved. And Mani, thinking on this, as it reverberated in the gaze that Baba gave her in saying, yes, world is square, I would agree, so what? She came to realize the importance of Baba's loving Mara, for he has that capacity to love perfectly and enacts it. Not only talks about it and tells everyone how they should love him, but enacts perfect love with his beloved. So that was the story that Eruch recalled, Mani telling.
He sets, he is the gauge, he gives the guideline how a lover should love the beloved. So, as he says, he becomes man and lives the life of man. He himself becomes the lover, and for that he has to have a beloved. So that's why time and again he would tell us. We would also get exasperated with all this sort of thing. Men had to suffer a lot because of it. This is, bear with it all. It's not in her hands. It's just, she has to play that role. Bear with it all. That's how you tell us also. But we didn't realize these things, you see, at that time. We used to get exasperated and all that. What sort of a thing is this, you see? But then now it comes. It becomes life now. It's a new life, a new vision, new vistas are opened. That in his great compassion, he has shown us the way. How a lover should play his role towards his beloved. The concept of the original sin continues as a Damocles' sword over us. It's always hanging there. And under the name of the original sin, we play our parts as man, woman, loving husband, irate wife, and this and that. Everything goes on.
What do you mean by under the name of the original?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Following what you have to say.
Well, it is to be spoken there. It's a mystery. You ask him.
I was just wondering if you know the origin of this, when Baba gave it, and
No, the thing
how
is-
he used it.
No, the origin is simple. You know,
I mean, is
these
this
101 names of God are in our scriptures, in Zoroastrian
in
scripture.
the Zoroastrian scripture?
Yeah, and it's in the ancient language called the Pahlvi. So it is there, but nobody knows the meaning of it. It's a dead language.
Is recited even though
But
the
it
meaning
is,
isn't.
we recited because of the, you see, it is said that although you don't know the meaning, it is best that you recite it, because the vibrations themselves are such that they will, that will help your stray thoughts, you see, being blown up or something like that. But then one day Baba had the pleasure, says, come on, bring that, and I'll give you the meaning behind it. That's how this was given to us by Baba.
Oh, so it's his translation.
Yeah. There have been translations in the past by other what do you call these scholars, but this is his original. Yeah. Some of the meanings are there. Scholars are there, of course. They give some meanings to the words. They are there, but the depth that he has brought out of each word is there.
Did he ever recite these in your presence? Did he ever?
He was silent. He never recited. I recited in his presence.
You read out.
I read out in his presence. Why should he? He has not. In my presence, he has not. Maybe in your presence when you were a kid. So this is how he would say. Baba would say, "Come on!" Every now and then he would say, "Bring out 101 names of God." You see. So worthy of worship, Yazat, that has come in the highest of the high. So what we will do is, I will speak out the word Yazat and worthy of worship. Harasvatavan, all powerful, like that. And then gradually he told me to drop these words and then read only the English. That's how it was.
That's how I'm doing.
And you'd say, see how beautiful it is. But these 101 names are not sufficient, he says.
108. I always thought there were 108.
No, 100, but it's not just the number. You go on ad infinitum. You won't be able to describe him.
108 gopis.
Yeah. It is ad infinitum. You can't restrict him, you can't limit him to any number of attributes or anything. These are the attributes of the God, of God the Almighty. Yeah. 108 gopis,
108 in the outer circle, right? Plus the 12.
Are there? Plus the 12. Why 108 and plus the 12 means 120 and plus 2.
Appendages.
Yeah.
Don't the appendages get dropped off? Like the wings of the bird eventually drop off and get transmuted into something else?
The surgeons say that there is no need for you remove your appendix, you see. It's an addition without any meaning in it. But it has its purpose. It is said that at the time of atomic warfare, the appendix is the best, you see, best to have it, because radiation is absorbed by it.
I've heard that.
You have heard it too?
I have heard that.
Where did you hear that?
Oh, years ago.
I didn't know. I was just...
No, that's not... You're not making something up. If you're making something up, you're making something up that I've heard.
Oh.
That it's part of the immune system.
Yes, I heard it too. I read it.
It's nothing but a farce. And as Baba calls it, tamasha. You know what a tamasha is? A person beats the drum. We have the Indian way of... He says, what do you call this drum? He says, you all don't have that, no, in the States?
But it has tongs with a...
Yeah, it has a thong there at either end, you know.
Like
and-
castanets?
No, not a castanet. It's like a chalice.
Little bells.
You know what a chalice is?
Cup.
Cup, but what type of a cup? It's like this. It has a little stem in between, and there's another cup at the bottom. It rests on a cup, but the cup is there. That's the chalice.
Oh.
You know, on either
Like
side
a
there's a
vajra?
cup. On either side there is a cup formation. So likewise, then such a type of a drum is there, which is thicker. You see the stem, and it's covered with leather, and on either side there is a thong there with a little pebble tied to it. And the tamasha man just rings it and draws the attention of the people. You see that there's going to be a tamasha. Tamasha means just a wayside show. Wayside show.
Sideshow.
Wayside, yeah. Not a side show. Wayside show. While you are going to school, the children are attracted, you see. And well, they forget going to school and they are just standing there and seeing all this and just throwing the money that was given for the snack. You see,
Like a gypsy show?
yeah, like a gypsy show. All sorts of things, you see. Take out things from bags and like Hugh does. Yeah. The only thing that he needs is to ring that, you see.
Tamasha.
Yeah, tamasha. Passing show, Baba would say. So all are here now? Or anybody left? Where had we gone to where do we start? Where was our period that we were? Bob? Yeah, but touching which point what was it? So you know, yeah, let's get into the mood of it. You know, now we begin the story. There's a perfect master who has his ashram at a place, but he is in the habit of being at the headquarters for about, say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then he goes out on a round for a month or a month and a half and then returns to his place. So he used to go out. That was his customary habit. People knew about it all. Just as Baba used to go out, like that. Baba used to go out more frequently and stay less at one place. But his habit was that when he would go out on these tours of his, he wouldn't want to enter the city or be at an inn or anything. He would park himself on the fringes of a town or city or village. He wouldn't enter any place. He would be outside the place. And well, with the passage of time, he became very well known. And because he was very well known, crowds used to gather around him. And his another habit was that before sunset, he would drive them all out. Get out from here. You go back to your villages, to your cities, it's dangerous for you all. He doesn't want to be burdened with all the responsibilities and all that. He says, you better go. Go now with your children and your wives and go back. So, sunset, he would drive them out. He would not drive them out, but he would tell them to go away. So likewise, he would go to different towns and villages. There was one town there. And there was one selected family in the town who had come very close to him. So whenever he would go out and park himself on the outskirts of the town, and people would come and gather around him, sure enough. So what happened is, when the people are around him, naturally he will converse and talk to them about things and all that, tell them stories and all. And it's time now for them to depart. So he will just say that, all y'all, please now, you all go now, you go away from here. But he will wink at that family, you see. You be seated. Because they were close to him. He wanted them to be there. And they knew they had come closer and closer with the passage of time. And they would bring some food for him. After the crowd has dispersed, he and his disciples were there, few disciples. So well, after the crowd would leave, so this family would be there and they would eat with him, offer him, and he would be very happy to see them, and he would ask them, how about you, how about this, and there was a child like Laila at the time. So he would be very fond of that little girl, he'll make her sit on his lap and fondle her and caress her, and always spoke of her in terms that, well, she's my child. And the parents were very happy about it, because they had this privilege of being so close to him and being the favorites of a perfect master. And, well, you know how perfect masters should be revered and taken. Laila started growing older and older and older, And the parents were anxious as to when the master would tell that this child of his should get married now. Because amongst Indians, Hindus especially, they should start thinking about getting married. 16 and 17 is too old to be married, you see. It is so. So what had happened is that they were wondering, so one day the master, it happened that he was there at the time when she was 15. So one day while he's fondling and playing with her, he says, now you should get married. So they jump up with this. He says, yes, master, we were wondering about it. When will you give your sanction that she should get married? He says, well, I'll bless my daughter when she gets married. She's now 16 and the boy is there. The day is over. He says, now you all go disperse. Now it's getting sunset, go away. And he, on this side, he says, you just remain seated. So they are all seated. They have all gone. And, well, the parents of the girl say, Baba, here is the boy that... The perfect master looks at the boy. He's very pleased. Very, very pleased. And says, beautiful. Very good match. Very handsome. And says, what's your father doing? So he's doing great business and all that. He seems to be a very wealthy person. That the parents say that he is the most wealthy person in the town, and this and that and all that sort of thing. Same caste and same religion, and everything was fine. Very fine. So the master says, yeah, arrange. So everything is arranged. He says, yes, if you sanction, tomorrow will be the wedding ceremony, and they will come in the evening for your blessings. Wonderful, master says. Beautiful. That's a good idea. Come on, get the thing done, you see. So that's how, what happens is now, after food and all that sort of thing that's taken, they take leave and they go. The next morning is a busy day. They are all engaged in getting, everything was arranged like that. So the daughter and that man got married. Now in the evening again the crowd is there. The next day the master is to leave, naturally. So they are all there and the whole crowd is there. Master is very happy. He notices that they are married in their wedding dress and all that. And the disciples around the master, they are very happy about the occasion because they knew that there will be a wedding feast there for the night and so on. That's how the disciples, I'm speaking my own mind around Baba, you see. So that's how it is. So everything is has a happy ending that evening when he sends the crowd out, and then they are all together and they are very happy. So Baba makes them sit there and then blesses them. This is very happy, live a happy life, happy married life and all that sort of thing. I'm very happy. Treat her respectfully, you treat him respectfully, love each other, be with each other for your lifetime, that and all that. The whole hog of it that we were discussing this morning. So Everything is fine. They are having now dinner, wedding dinner is there and all that. They had brought it. And they ate and everything. Master is well pleased. He is totally satisfied. And now they are about to part. So before you part, my parting advice to the young man. So he catches hold of him, gets up and leads him far away. And there they are conversing. All of a sudden, this youngster just wrenches himself away from the grip of the master and shouts at him, "You rogue! You are the scoundrel, for whom all the crowd comes over here. You." And he comes to his wife and says, "Come with me. Don't stay any longer here. And never again you come to this place. Never utter his name. Come on." Drags her and leaves her, takes her away. The parents, you see, they are spellbound with all this show that is put around there. What has happened all of a sudden? Everything was so fine. What happened? There was some little conversation that was going on. We didn't know. What's the matter? And poor girl, you see, is dragged and taken. So the master tells the woman, he says, "Remember what I have said. Even if he forgets, live with him happily and be his wife. Everything will be all right. Have no worry. Go." So naturally with whom he had played, fondled, kissed, caressed and all that, his own daughter is being treated like this. Master, go. The parents are terrified. This is the first day of the wedding. What will happen to her whole life? Will we be able to see her? What is it? And he is a man of great repute, this man, you see. He is a businessman there. Now he will be shouldering the business of his father. He is the richest person, most influential and all that. What's going to happen? Well, the daughter that has gone to their house now is well looked after. She was beautiful, this young one. And the in-laws loved that. It was fine. And true to her promise, she never uttered the name of this master of hers, whom she loved very much. Nothing was spoken about him. Nothing. Years are passing, a year or two pass by, and she delivers a baby girl. You can imagine the child must be beautiful because the mother is beautiful, husband is handsome, beautiful, healthy baby was born. Master comes, perfect master, visit. She hears from the people around, the neighbors are there, they are all going. She doesn't even show inclination to go, her husband, because husband had ordered her.
Pani?
No, it's just that little, my seeds, you see. Yeah. No? Well, she hears, but she keeps quiet. Master is there, the parents are there. After all the crowd go, parents are there. They are very sad about it. It's after a couple of years that he has paid a visit now. So he says, "Well, how is she? Do you know anything?" "Master, we have not heard anything about her. We don't know what's happening. She is never sent to us. But we have heard from others that she is happy. She's bound to, because everything is fine at their place." He says, "Have no fear. Don't you all worry. Everything, I have blessed them. You realize that? I have blessed them." He says, "Yes, Master." Because they have no way to express their feelings, but they are feeling very sore about it. What sort of blessing is this? Is this a blessing? Yeah, but we don't know. Well, we don't have any foresight. We have nothing. What can we say? We are weaklings in his grip. But acceptance of what he says, at least, is a relief. There's a comfort. So this is a very telling story. It is a thing that has happened. So what happens is now, the daughter that has been born, now we are going to skip. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole novel of it or anything something. Yeah. So it seems that now years have passed. Master comes and goes. The parents are there. The same usual food is taken, and master inquires after his daughter. Means his adopted, you may call it, whatever it is. and nothing is known about her. What happens is now, this child, the baby girl that has born, now she's growing. 14 years have passed by. Now she is at the age of 14 now. I'm sorry, 15. And the same age that the topic cropped up, you see, of this daughter getting married. So what happened is that she was reared in a family, well-to-do, and everything was fine, wonderful. The environment was so beautiful, everything was found there. But what happened? They spoiled the child. The child was spoiled. No discipline was there. So she grew up, you see, wild. And in her growth, what had happened, she mingled with boys and girls and this and that and played and this and that. At that age, all the impressions that were there, whatever they were, you may call it, what happened, we don't know. But the story, the fact that had occurred was that she was leading a life of undesirable life, mixing with boys and sleeping with them and bringing disrepute to the parents and all that sort of thing. In India, mind you just imagine the embarrassment of the community and the parents. It's never happened in India. And that too, this is a story about 250 years ago. So, it was terrible for the parents. And parents are very well-to-do people. They are the most influential people. So what happens is, gradually, as soon as the husband goes out for work or anything, so they whisper, she is the daughter of this man. So he overhears, and he becomes so embarrassed hearing this. In the beginning, it was terrible for him. He couldn't go out of the house, but when he started going out of the house, he heard all these whispers. Eventually, he got so sick of hearing all these things, because his daughter left the home, started a brothel and lived there, and continued to take customers. And here, they were suffering. Mother was not suffering. Why? She was not suffering because the focus was on her master. What master told her to do, she is doing. She is giving her life to this man. She is, enacting the part of a dutiful wife, enacting the part of the householder there, looking after everything and all that. But the man is worried. Man is embarrassed. Man is insulted. Man feels trod upon by society, you see. And eventually he could not go out of the house. He began to live inside the house. He had the ample money. He left the business to his clerks and men and all, the agents and all that. He wouldn't want to budge out. His mental torture was so great, it was worse than physical illness. He was in bed and started withering. Eventually, there is no way out. She's trying to help her, but he's so depressed, he's so moody and everything, the whole thing, he doesn't understand. You see, he blames the master, that pseudo-master as he calls him, for his blessings, for all the curse that has come upon the house. You follow now? Mm-hmm. So time and again, during the years between 14 and 16, while she was behaving like that, he every now and then tortured the woman, the mother of the daughter, because of your master. See how it is? Luckily I dragged you from that place. Luckily this happened. Otherwise what would have happened to us? And this and that here. So she would listen. She wouldn't say anything against it. Or she wouldn't say that it's now time that we should separate or get divorced because your ideology and my ideology differ, or because you seem to lose your temper and our marriage seems to be incompatible or something, whatever the Western words are there, I can't use them because I am unaware of all these things. So, but she bore it. She remained a ready listener. She was sacrificing. She was offering her love to him, comfort to him, sustaining the relationship as a sustainer. Then what happened? He was so totally paralyzed. He got emaciated, wreck, you may call it, physical and mental wreck. And he's lying in bed there. So one day the wife says, there is no way that I can give you any more comfort. No talk, no love, no sex seems to attract you. But there's one thing that I feel that might help you. He says, what is it now? He is helpless. He is so helpless that he could be easily led by any vagabond or anybody, even a child, whatever the child would do. So the only thing that I think will help us both under the circumstances, that allow me to read the lives of the saints. Do what you like. Do what you like. So she begins to read the life of the saints. This all stemmed from that talk that we had. That's why I got reminded about the story. This is all right, read. So she goes on reading. She does her duty very well. She puts in life into the story. It's not just reading it out like that, but living the life of those saints, the great ones, the perfect masters that had led the life, how they became saintly and how they realized the Lord and how they became Sadgurus. You see, the life stories are there. And that was comfort to her, comfort to the man. Gradually he was soaking all the episodes that were there. Same things had happened to them also. And how they got up, how they rose from it, how they transcended the situations and so forth. It was very fine, peaceful. His mind gradually with the passage of time gets settled. In the meantime, the master comes every now and then, you see, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year and so forth. So here what happens, one day again she hears that he has come again. So now she emboldens herself, seeing that, well, his sustenance is there, that the life stories of the saints. So she emboldens herself and says, how about going back to the master once? Won't it be nice if we can go there? So he looks at her and says, you want to go? Yeah, I love to go. It will be a good thing for you to go also. Let us go both. Let both of us go there. Bygones be bygones, whatever it be. But all the world that is going around is not crazy as one thinks. They cannot all be mad. Let's go. What harm is there? It's all right if you say, I don't mind. Come on. So she is helping him to dress up and all that. And somehow or other, they go there. She is so full of joy. You have no idea of that joy of hers after 15 years, after 20 years or so it is, that she is there. The master, so the parents have brought food. The master calls the couple now.